Over the centuries, I've seen horrors that would blast your soul.
Birds gotta fly, fish gotta swim, wolves gotta hunt.
I know you've been used poorly by men in the past, but all that is about to change.
Because Xanatos doesn't want to destroy us. He wants to dominate us.
After a while, all you notice is the beauty.
They're called the Illuminati.
No, I was too busy writhing in agony to notice.
Just dreaming old dreams.
Tell him I said he's a bum! Well, my enemies.
Ciao.
The Loincloth Hour, a show for queer furries created by queer furries. Viewer discretion advised. If you are not 18 and older, I suggest you GTFO.
Welcome to the Loincloth Hour. I'm your host, Manicorn.
I'm Huron.
And I'm Sid.
And we're here today to do an episode that might be considered a little more offbeat to some. However, they would be fools, because we're about to talk about one of the gayest shows of all time, which is the Looney Tunes Show, 2011. So the Looney Tunes Show, I don't need to describe what Looney Tunes is. Everyone knows what Looney Tunes is. Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, all those guys. This version of the Looney Tunes leans less on, the slapstick elements, and it's more of a sitcom. And that lets the characters, really, the humor isn't in, them, throwing pies at each other or, hitting each other with anvils. It's more of them just, talking to each other. And that, it sort of reminds me of, watching a Muppet Show, because, the humor is very quirky, but it's also, slightly sick at all times. Mm-hmm. And that's really why I like this show.
Yeah, it's...
You wouldn't call the Looney Tunes show offbeat at all?
Well, I meant more it's offbeat for us to talk about it, because it's not like when you think of, naked men, you don't think of Looney Tunes, usually.
Well, unless you're us.
Or do you?
I feel like a lot of people think of Yosemite Sam.
Well...
He has a whole section devoted to him. We're going to talk about Yosemite Sam.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about that.
I'm actually amazed. I thought you'd be wearing your Yosemite Sam t-shirt.
Oh, I think it's, lost in the laundry piles.
Oh, we have to find it later.
Yeah, otherwise I would have, but no, I'm a big Yosemite Sam fan.
A Sam fan.
A Yosemite fam, if you will.
Yeah.
But no.
Darman fam.
Oh my gosh! Don't even get me started. Okay, please, but no. For sure, I think the Looney Tunes show was the show that kind of implemented Sam as, just kind of mocking the character he's supposed to represent, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the hyper-masculine sort of...
the sleazy neighbor roommate that's, a little... what's a good word for it?
Out of control?
Chaotic.
Yeah, instead of a drinking problem, he has just, a shooting guns problem. It's an addiction metaphor, I think.
Yeah, he definitely has some, let's not even get into the fact that this episode of the Loincloth Hour is actually sponsored by Sam's Tidy Whities that he wears quite frequently in the Looney Tunes show, and we all love that.
I feel like he's the most objectified character on this show. Because, I feel every appearance he has, he's either naked or they show him in his underwear.
Well,
the animators cannot help themselves.
I was just watching, before we recorded this, the Foghorn Leghorn story.
Uh-huh.
And there's a scene at the beginning of the episode where he's doing his laundry and he's, hanging it all up outside. And he's got, a little stool to walk up on to hang up each article of clothing.
Yeah.
And there's, of course, there's heart boxers there at one point. But there's also...
We've never seen him wear boxers.
No.
He's always in tidy whities.
Yes, and there's also... the last thing he hangs up is, small yellow Speedo.
Oh my god.
Which we do see him wear at one point.
Of course.
Later in the show. But I just thought that was so fascinating that they had this, yes, he does own that, and he's probably going to wear that at some point. And they had him wear it, I think, in an episode where he's, working at a car wash, and he's, greasing himself up.
Of course.
They want that image in their viewers' minds.
And
they want them to think about Sam in a Speedo.
He's just like, I ain't smart and I ain't good looking, but I sure can sell a vehicle or two or something. I don't know, but like he's just in a Speedo oiling himself up while he's doing that. And it's so funny because he's like that kind of personality, you know, even in the older cartoons where he's just like kind of, I mean, I don't want to say the word conservative, but very like...
He's like a rootin' tootin'... I don't even
Western.
know. Yeah, like a Western.
Like he's very like...
Well, I mean, it started out in Western cartoons.
Yes. Because he was a cowboy guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Supposedly he was based off of a real person that I think the animators just knew, who was like just kind of looked just like him, was a mustached grump.
I would say like modern Yosemite Sam, like he is the stand-in for like the conservative guy in the cast. Sort of like Sam the Eagle is from the Muppets. He's just sort of like a mockery of that type of figure, like, I think.
He's just kind of always making the same mistakes and never really learning from them.
Yeah, he is very stupid.
Mm-hmm.
He's but like in a way that like you sort of like root for him. Like we all want him to succeed. We all want to help him. We all want to give him a bath. Like we
I don't know, it's really fun seeing him mess up, but at the same time it's just like, sweetie, why are you living like this?
Why? He just needs a roommate. He needs Bugs Bunny as his roommate.
Well, he tried that.
I know!
He needs someone just as sleazy as he is.
So there is, it's not in this show, but I think one of the newer Looney Tunes shows, there is an episode where Bugs Bunny gives Yosemite Sam a spanking.
Yeah,
and you
Looney
see
Tunes cartoons.
You see his bare butt in it.
Yeah, I was just squeeing about that scene to a friend in a Discord call last night.
It's very important. It's an important scene.
I love the dynamic he has with Bugs in all the recent iterations, where Bugs is just like this superiority, gender fluid cross-dress. I mean, that's just kind of how he's always been. And Sam is so like ooh, I'm a big manly man, so addled and stuck in my ways. And it's funny because it's like, in that short you're mentioning, the Oregon Trail short.
Yes.
I also like the sequence in which, like Yosemite Sam's making Bugs become his horse to get him across the trail, and Bugs is a terrible horse and leads them in all the wrong directions. And then Sam is, well, then Bugs is like, well, like, you could make a better horse. And then Sam's like, I bet darn right I could.
Now.
And then he gets on all fours and yells at Bugs to get on. And
not the first time.
Sam not only is able to make the trail so efficiently, but Bugs convinces him to go back and make the trail again. It's the most powerful femdoming I've ever bore witness to.
And he does it effortlessly.
He does.
It's like, I don't know if Bugs even is like a real dom, but he just like happens to just dom everyone like in his orbit.
I can definitely tell you, when it comes to Yosemite Sam, he's just a brat man who needs a femdom in his life to guide him in the right direction.
He is, and that's beautiful.
I also like how Bugs has to like lift him up to like see things sometimes.
Because he's like a little baby.
Yeah, he's like this little like dwarf man. Like, he's so angry, but then he's like, could you help me out a little? And then
like his mustache is like twice as tall as like his actual body is.
Yeah,
like, it's crazy.
The most masculine short king you've ever seen.
He's a marvel. Like I would spank Yosemite Sam like in a heartbeat.
That would be great. It's funny how we started talking about the Looney Tunes show, but we segued into Looney Tunes
We're just
cartoons.
talking about Yosemite. Like there's so many other
that's a
things
good way to
talk
get me involved, though. Is, you know, that's very on brand for me.
So while we're talking about other Looney Tune properties, though, that aren't the Looney Tunes show, if you've seen the movie Space Jam,
oh boy,
you probably already know what I'm going to talk about, but one of the best pantsing scenes of all times with the Monstar, with Pound the Monstar.
Yes.
Full ass, like,
like
jiggling.
The situational humor is so
Bouncing.
out of left field in that movie, and that is just one of those scenes where it's just like you see Sylvester with like a fishing rod, and then he just yanks
so
back
good.
a pair of shorts, and you just watch the big orange monster walk off screen.
So like it's
then the
his.
next thing all the poor viewers at home are like flashed with is just like the exquisite animation of Pound's giant orange alien butt cheeks jiggling and just
like gyrating.
He's naked from the ass down.
And he's looking backwards. He's like the Copper Tone ads. He's like, what?
Yeah, and just to top things off, like you got, the Lola who was supposed to be the fan service of the movie, going, nice butt, and then you cut to like a scene of like just an audience of hillbillies laughing.
Yes, along with the audience at home.
Yeah, like, I mean, I just think the image of hillbillies laughing at a butt joke is really... I think it's aged a lot better than I think most people realize.
I think so too. I remember I watched that movie in theaters when it came out, and the whole audience all laughed along at that part. It was like we and the movie were in sync with each other.
Like Michael Jordan had a big old smile on his face.
Michael B. Jordan.
Anyways, that is definitely, and we have like a few fans that are really big fans of the Monstars and wish that the Monstars were in more media, which I agree. I think they're great. They're definitely like your typical, they were made to be your typical like, antagonistic basketball team, but that's what we love them for.
Those hot jerks. Have you seen the new Space Jam movie?
No.
Because I haven't either. But I know they're in it, but I think I would have heard if we saw any of their asses in it, so like...
They're just like the little guys again, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, whatever. Bring us the real Monstars.
Yeah, for real though. We miss that giant cakey goodness. Not just from Pound, from the other ones as well. Bubkiss, I think, is one. Those are the only ones I remember.
They're all beautiful in their own unique
I have
ways.
friends that have like religiously remembered each one of their names, and they're gonna like crucify me after hearing this.
They're gonna send in those angry emails like, "How dare you?
How dare you forget Flim Flam?
Flim Flam.
Oh,
he's from Scooby-Doo.
That's from Scooby-Doo. That's a different show. Never mind.
I love Flim Flam, by the way.
Flim
He's
Flam,
one of my favorite characters.
Yeah,
I don't care if that's controversial.
Got a real unique name, so that's why I just threw it out there. So yeah,
I'll take Flim Flam over Scrappy like any day of the week.
Fair enough.
Flim Flam's amazing.
I think they both get too much hate. I have a favorite myself.
Who's your favorite character? Is it Yosemite Sam?
Yeah. To the surprise of no one. I also really like Lola, obviously. I feel like Lola most of the time. Bugs, whenever he does drag, I'm just like, I'm feeling that too.
Watching through the show, I felt like Lola like every episode. I was like, I'm right there with her.
Just like going through her purse, and then, in the middle of it, we'll leave a note for herself to clean out her purse later.
She's an ADHD queen.
She really is.
She's very similar to Daffy, in fact, which is interesting.
Well, Bugs has a type.
Bugs
does have a type.
Since Bugs, he begins to date Lola in the show itself, in the first season, but it seems like he and Daffy have already been dating for several years before the show begins. They're roommates.
And they were roommates. They were, the show, Looney Tunes show in general makes it a point to, like, always iterate the relationship to us, too. Like, like the whole best friends, and, like, there's that one scene where Bugs is telling Daffy to stop trying so hard to remember shit about him because he's not good at it.
Oh, this was after he forgot What's Up, Doc.
The James show, yeah.
Yeah, and then, like...
Or, like, did he also, like, not know Bugs' last name?
Yeah.
Yes.
That also happened.
Yeah, and
what is his most famous catchphrase?
Oh my gosh, but yeah, and then they're like, you know, you have to. Bugs is like, you just have to be the weird, terrible you are, otherwise we're gonna become like them. And then he points at the gay gophers.
To Macintosh.
And then they're like, no offense. And Macintosh is just like, oh, none taken.
Okay, I have a lot to say about Macintosh.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we have featured these. So, let's see. Macintosh, they're also known as the Goofy Gophers in some versions.
Interesting.
They own an antique shop called Antiques. They constantly tell each other they're best friend. They know everything about each other, which we know because they were on the same game show, and every time they were asked a question, they instantly knew what their husband's favorite whatever was. They're soulmates. They finish each other's sentences. They're beautiful. They're my favorite. They're amazing. Let me see here. In one case, actually, they did forget. I think one of the gophers, like, forgot that the one gopher was, like, allergic to something and, like, tried to, like, feed him something. And then he was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And then they were like, wait, are we, like, out of sync with each other? And it was such a traumatic event for them that they sang a whole sad song about it called Drifting Apart. But then they got back together by the end of the song, and they were like, we'll always be together because we're meant to be with each other.
That's a good
song. And it was very, very cute.
Very cute indeed.
And according to many cast members, namely the Gophers' voice actors, they are in a relationship. And this is according to the Looney Tunes SHOW wiki.
Yeah.
But I will believe it in this case because they are gay. Like, there's no... I don't see a way to watch any episode they're in without being like, oh, they're gay. They're a gay couple. They're married to each other. Because they sort of embody, like, every gay stereotype that exists.
But in a fun way.
But in a wonderful, fun way. And actually, I remember when I was watching them, they reminded me of me and Hiran quite a bit. So I was like, oh, we're lovey-dovey in, like, the same way. It's very, very cute.
Indeed,
I love them.
Indeed.
Who's your favorite, Mac or Tosh?
Whichever one I can tell, like, they're never, like, singular. Like, they're always as a unit.
Well, one of them tends to wear red, the other tends to wear green.
What does that mean, though? Like, what do I do with that?
Are you the one who wears red in the relationship or the one who wears green?
Oh, well, apparently you're the one who wears red.
Oh, okay, so I'm...
And you're wearing green a little.
You have a little green. Okay, now we know.
I'm just wearing, like, black. It's fine. But, no, I love Macintosh. I was just watching, the Foghorn Leghorn story, as I mentioned. I like how that episode ends with, like, all the pairings that episode just beating the shit out of each other. You have Foghorn and Daffy, who are getting really into it, and then you have Bugs, who actually starts the fight with Yosemite Sam. And then Macintosh are just, like, watching their antique store get destroyed by these dysfunctional queers, and the functional queers are like, let's get dysfunctional ourselves, and they start smashing shit in on themselves, like, and then they just start beating the shit out of each other. Like, this looks like fun, guys. Let's be a little dysfunctional.
Was that the episode where Bug saved Sam's life?
No, that's
why were Bug and Sam together in that episode? I don't remember.
They because, like, they found the vase in their backyard.
Oh God.
And Bugs is like, oh, that's interesting, and then Sam's like, I want it because you find it interesting. Like, keeps going back, like what, like, I tried to buy something with this, you lied to me, and then Bugs is like, you need to, like, go see an expert. He's like, that's all I needed to know. Joke's on you, you idiot. And then he leaves, and then he comes back. He's like, do you know any experts?
Yes.
It's very cute.
He just needs a little help.
He just needs, like, he needs someone like Bugs who's, like, willing to tolerate him.
Yeah, it's just a calm, sensible person who, like, doesn't get emotional like Sam does. so emotional.
It's so funny because, like, Sam will never admit he's emotional. He's that kind of... He's a little wolf-coded.
A little bit.
But, you know, like, he's also very much, like you said, overly emotional about most things.
He has rage. He's got to be the top dog.
But sir, that was a starter pistol. I would never be so irresponsible with a real gun.
Never.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, can we talk about that episode too?
Yes.
Like, where, I think Bugs saves Sam's life. Well, he doesn't even save his life at the beginning. He just changes the batteries in his, like, fire alarm, and he's like, great, now I owe you. I have to make you a cake now. And then he burns his house down, making him a cake.
He doesn't even change the batteries. He takes them out because it's been beeping.
Oh,
right, he doesn't actually put new batteries
and he's like, I'll put in new batteries for you. Where are they? He's like, no, then I'll owe you 2 things.
Because it's separate actions.
Like he thinks if anyone is nice to him, he has to do something for them. That's how he's been rooted.
I know people who think that way too, and it's just like, no, like, baby, no, it's okay. No.
Just like the infectious Southern hospitality that has refused to leave him in his, like, crazy adult years, and he upholds it for reasons he doesn't understand. But there's also the sequence when Bugs is trying to save Sam from his house burning down, and
so it's the dead of night. He doesn't wake Sam up. Sam's in bed.
Yeah. In his underwear.
And he is drawn super ripped in that episode.
Yeah, he has, like, big hairy chest.
Yeah, and he's got, like, a little, like, he's got, like, a butt crack and everything when he's, like, running around, like, the house. He's just like, and then he's so nonchalant about the fact that his house is on fire too. Like, he's that much of a disaster queen. Like, he's just like, oh, I need to get the cake out the oven now and all this.
He's like, what is wrong with you? Out of the house!
Definitely one of my favorite sequences. And then, yeah, after that, Bugs essentially saves Sam's life, and now, like, Sam is stalking Bugs, trying to save his life.
Because it's the only way to balance the scales.
Yeah.
The only way.
Yeah. And Bugs even tries to get Porky to hit him with his car at one point.
So that Sam could rescue him?
Yeah, but I don't think that ended up working.
No, because everyone got distracted by Daffy. Right? It was Daffy who distracted them.
I think it was Daffy who distracted them, yeah.
But by, like, injuring himself and yelling so loud, everyone looked away.
Yeah. So Bugs, I think, actually got hit by a car.
Correct.
And Sam...
Then, you know, the Jewish doctor was like, you need to get new friends, except for, you know, that guy. The hunk.
The jock!
Yeah, because there's that whole... I didn't even get into Daffy's whole plot line.
It's not relevant to this. It is an incredibly funny Daffy plot line.
Yeah, but just, you know, I love the doctor calling Daffy the hunk. Like, I guess he's got a thing for him. I don't know.
The beefcake.
A beefcake.
No one knows what he's talking about. No one can connect these words to Daffy.
No.
But we know.
We know exactly what he means.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Looney Tunes show humor is kind of, like, it's aged very well. Like,
yes.
You can watch that show whenever and it'll still be funny.
It's still good. It's for all ages. Adults, kids, old people.
It's very accessible.
Alright. Well, not to move away from Sam for a moment,
we'll
but...
go back to him. We always are going to circle back.
There's fluctuations.
We do have to talk about one of the other elements of the show that comes up constantly.
I think I know exactly what you mean.
Cross-dressing.
Yeah! I wouldn't know anything about that.
No, you?
Just dressed in full makeup currently.
Just normal everyday thing.
So, obviously, for those of you who've watched Looney Tunes in the past, you should probably know that Bugs will always cross-dress in any media he's in. This is just his
It's just
thing.
his way. He's a trickster god.
Yes.
He can assume any form.
You know what they say about trickster gods?
But
They're bisexual.
the episode, the episode I started to rewatch for this, which I didn't actually end up finishing watching, but we're not going there, is about the time when Daffy decides he is not a productive member of society, so he's going to get a job. So, in order to get a job, he goes to a hairdressing school.
Okay, is this the same one where there's the dance class?
I'll get to it, yes.
It's like, that is such a good episode.
So,
I was hoping we'd talk about that.
So, he wants a model because he can't cut hair on a mannequin.
No, he needs a live
He needs a live model. Like, you see it flow.
And he won't use his girlfriend. He's using...
So, because his girlfriend's, working. So he's like, Bugs, just sit down, put the smock on him, and then Bugs like, whatever. But before this, Bugs had been asked by Porky to come with him to a dance class because it was for couples only, and Porky wants to learn to dance so he can actually get a girlfriend.
Yeah, and Bugs is like, don't you want, like, a female dance partner? And Porky's like, well, I don't know any females. I need you to help me, Bugs. And Bugs is like, okay.
As usual, Bugs just gets pulled into everyone else's problems. So, he finishes it up, mentions your top class, and Bugs like, class, I forgot. Meanwhile, of course, Daffy has turned the smock into a dress by adding like a ribbon.
He added like a ribbon to
it to try and give him some form.
A waistline.
You are one ugly woman, but that's one top class.
Bugs is told repeatedly he's an ugly woman in this episode, and for one, it's not true, and two, Bugs himself is like, I think I'm beautiful.
Right, he never lets that bring him down.
So he gets to the class.
Still in the dress, the wig.
Meanwhile, Lola, who just drove up to drop something off, sees a woman run out of Bugs'
ugly
house.
Woman leaving Bugs' house. Wait, she's getting Bugs' car.
So she follows him to the dance class.
Oh my god!
Not knowing who it is, she thinks she's being cheated on. All right. So, anyways, Bugs gets in, and Porky's just like, Bugs, what are you wearing? And he's like, what? And he goes, oh yeah, I forgot. Daffy is learning how to cut hair, and he used me as his model. And Porky's just like, what?
Okay.
Whatever.
Whatever.
But you do make one ugly woman. Why does everyone keep calling me ugly? He looks in the mirror, it's like adjusting his hair.
Okay, but there's like this musical sting as he looks in the mirror. It seems like it's like a trans awakening episode suddenly. Like, it's...
I love that for him.
And then, of course, we bounce back because immediately the dance instructor shows up, who is Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah.
And starts hitting on Bugs.
It's the hottest woman in
Who
class.
is this lovely lady you've brought with you, Porky? So Porky tries to tell him, and Bugs interrupts and just goes all in to prove that he's not an ugly woman.
Because it becomes like him being like, I'm not ugly. I'm a beautiful woman. Like, it's like the most important thing to him suddenly.
So now we start this repeated cycle of watching Daffy grow as a hairdresser. And of course, he and Bugs are now having like gal chats as he continues to do his hair.
They're like oddly comforting gal chats that they have with each other. Like, they're genuine and they're not like.
Yeah.
It's so real.
Like, Bugs is going out and buying like
actually
proper
gives
dresses.
useful, good advice. Like, it's like when he's a hairdresser, Daffy is like at his most like it's his best self. Yeah. Finally.
Maybe he should have. Yeah.
Maybe.
Cosmetology.
He still carries around his haircutting license with him everywhere.
That's perfect.
As we know.
That's awesome. Do you need a haircutting license? Like, is that real?
Yes.
Yeah, it's real. You have to go to like finishing school or whatever it's called. Beauticians.
Yeah, and you need to have, I think, 5,000 hours of practice.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's a lot of hours.
Oh yeah, that's why in my school the cosmetologists they would start tracking hours in their freshman year.
Yeah,
and they would not have enough by the time they graduated, even though they would be like.
That's crazy.
Going and doing hours full time every other week for 4 years.
Damn, I'd carry my license around everywhere too if that were the case.
Yeah. So back to the episode. Meanwhile, Bugs now buying like proper dresses and lipstick.
Because every time he shows up at class, he's wearing something different. And Porky is like, another new dress? Like,
Where are you getting these? I thought, what was her name? Patricia? I thought Patricia deserved something better to wear than a dusty old smock.
Ooh.
No.
Daffy's girlfriend?
No. Bugs was calling himself...
his
calling
name
himself Patricia?
I want to say it was like Catherine or something.
Catherine. Kathy.
Kathy, yeah.
That's what it was.
So, like, Kathy is, like, this whole, like, other person now who he's, like, he's channeling her. He's doing right by her.
Meanwhile, Lola's still doing a full investigation of Kathy and finds out, like, she's this woman that doesn't exist.
Oh, my God.
So she confronts Bugs about it, and Bugs is like...
He
Lola.
just tells her everything.
He just flat out is like, Lola, Kathy's me. I'm dressing as a woman to go help Porky get through this class. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she walks away like I would fall for that.
How stupid do you think I am?
So she like now follows to class and decides to climb up the outside of the building.
She's so real for those.
Only to sneak into class.
First from the below, she's looking and she sees Porky and Kathy dancing, and it's like, Bugs' mistress is cheating on him with Porky.
Yes, that was what would happen.
Oh, poor Bugs. And then she sees Speedy also there, and she's like, what's going on up there? Like, hold on a second.
So she has to climb up to find out what the heck is going on.
Yeah, okay.
And then right as she gets up to the window, meanwhile inside, Speedy Gonzalez has been getting more and more forwards about his attraction to Kathy.
Yeah.
And refusing to take no for an answer. So now, like, it eventually reaches the breaking point where Bugs is like, Speedy, it's me, Bugs. I was just wearing a wig. And she's like, oh, I was just, helping your self-esteem by...
Yeah, because you were the ugliest woman in class. I was trying to overcompensate by being nice to you. I didn't think you were actually hot.
Yeah.
And Bugs is like, okay, whatever. And then Speedy, like, goes into his room. And he just starts, like, sobbing.
Meanwhile, Lola's watching this whole confession. She's like, oh, yeah, that's what he told me. And then she immediately falls backwards off from, like, the 8th floor.
It's
goes
okay.
through this
The muffin
insane...
broke her fall.
Yes,
She's
the muffin broke her fall.
Yeah. And then she eats it afterwards.
Because... like, the whole reason she hadn't found out about any of this until now, which I've got to mention, was because she kept getting distracted and going to buy muffins.
Listen,
there was a muffin shop on the way to the dance studio.
If there was a muffin shop local, like, we'd go there every fucking day.
I know.
I love muffins. Muffins are so good.
Channeling more of your inner Lola.
But yes, a very, very queer episode.
Yeah, the episode is, like, a beautiful, like... It's a beautiful, chaotic, interwoven of plot lines that just brings the show together, I'd say. That's the best way I can describe it.
And it's so queer. And, like, the show, like, it doesn't even really pretend that these characters are, like, cis. Like, they're all some sort of gender. There's gender happening everywhere on this show.
So, Bugs will cross-dress constantly. He cross-dresses on his first date with Lola in order to convince her that he's a bad person by pretending to be his own ex-girlfriend.
It's so good.
There's, like, some levels there.
Yeah. Daffy cross-dresses on several occasions. It's mostly the two of them.
Yes, there's a supercut on YouTube of, like, every cross-dressing scene in the show. It's, like, over 15 minutes long. It's
I think about a third of it is from that one episode that we just
discussed. Yeah, because, like, most of that episode is just Bugs cross-dressing, and it's really good.
I've always... like, that's such a... isn't there, like, a Wayne's World quote about Bugs Bunny dressing up as a girl and making, like, all the kids feel weird about it?
Yep.
Yeah, like... that's definitely just...
There's a quote from something, at least. I've never seen Wayne's World.
It was from Wayne's World. Nice. It was like, Garth was saying that. And then it makes you really put into perspective just the impact Looney Tunes has kind of had on, like, the queer audiences who tune into animation, like, you know, a lot of people, I mean, myself and a few of my friends included, just, you know, see Bugs Bunny and are just like, okay, yes, gender fluid drag icon that helped shape me into who I am today. You know, all my cross-dressing friends love Bugs Bunny and Looney Tunes.
But yeah, one thing I do want to discuss about the show is that it took a cast of characters, all of whom had women created as, like, partners for them. Like, that's literally the reason that Tina and Lola and Petunia all exist. And made it so freaking queer while maintaining those relationships.
And that's, like, really nice, because it's like, you're not just seeing, like, it's like they're all bisexual, is what it seems like. Yeah. Like, it's like, the inclusion of all the women girlfriends, like, actually makes it more queer and not less. Yeah. It's very interesting.
And Tina and Lola, sometimes, I'm just like, are they going to get together?
I think that they should.
There's a lot going on. Like, everybody's dating everyone.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Petunia doesn't show up until, like, the final episode. And she was going to be a main moving forward.
Yeah, I wish there'd been another season.
Yeah.
The tragedy. But, you know who we haven't talked about yet is Lola's dad.
Oh my god. The hunk.
The hunk.
The jock. The beefcake. I love Lola's dad. He is a specimen of manhood.
He has a crush on Bugs.
He has a crush on Bugs. So
that's where Lola gets it from.
That is where Lola gets it from, though! Like, she has the same taste in men that her father does. I'm just saying.
Yeah, she doesn't have the same taste in men as her mother, that's for sure.
No.
No.
But yeah, her dad, like, he's sort of sporty. Like, he's a tennis player. He's a little preppy. He has a nice body. He has a nice dad bod. He stays in shape.
Belly and everything. And, you know, big arms.
Big arms, big chest. He's a good looking guy.
Yeah.
It does seem like he's aware that Lola's dating Bugs, but he also seems to be under the impression that he too is dating Bugs, which is a little strange.
Yeah.
But, like, he makes it work.
Does he?
Well, I mean, he makes it work for himself.
That's true.
He's found a way to justify all of it in his own mind, even if Bugs is a little uncomfortable with the whole thing.
Yeah, at all times.
It's fine.
Like, it's
fine.
You know, what was that thing that Roadkill Comics made where it's like the rooster and the rooster dad is like, whatever you do to my daughter, just remember, like,
I'll do to you.
It's the same. It's almost the same. It's just like Walter's a little more like, hey, whatever you do to my daughter, I'm gonna do to you. You know, he's a little more.
Whatever you do to my daughter, you can also do to me.
That too. He's a little more, you know.
Because I need to make sure that you're treating my daughter right.
He's a little friendlier about it. A little too friendly, if you catch my drift.
He's just an affable bunny guy.
Yeah,
And you know what they say about bunnies.
I like the episode where, like, Lola... I forget what the situation was. I just know Lola was refusing to do something, so Bugs calls up her dad. And is like, hi, Walter. And, like, manages to get the thing to happen. I forget the situational humor. It was just, like, literally, like, seduce your dad type in a single scene.
And effortless. As always, he effortlessly does it. Amazing.
Indeed. But yes, Lola's dad, I feel like, needs more love. I think the Looney Tunes show in general.
I want to see him in a Speedo.
Hilariously, I think the only character in the show who might be straight is Porky, and I'm not entirely certain. Poor Porky.
I got some vibes when he was with Daffy.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, you know? He really wanted a relationship, and it didn't matter with who.
Yeah, and it's one of those situations where I feel like he's so, like, desperate for, like, any, like, friendship at all that he lets people walk over him, and sometimes that translates into, like, kind of gay. Sometimes
he's like E-Tech Ninja.
I mean, I can't speak to that, but But, like, you know, Porky, like, he'll do anything that anyone asks for him, and he only knows men. He only knows other guys.
That's
He
true.
doesn't know women.
Literally took him the entire show to meet a single woman who would talk to him. Because, like, the only woman he talks to is Lola, and Lola's insanity is too much even for him. Yeah. And he can't be around her.
Like, there's, like, a chaos level that each character has.
Did he...
They must have had scenes
Tina.
together. I can't think of
He
any.
had to have met Tina at some point, but I don't recall any of them.
I'm sure that they did.
Because, like, at some points it was basically, like, Daffy was dating Tina and Bugs and Porky all in one episode, and, like, the relationships were blowing each other up. Like, I remember that happened at least once. All because he wasn't doing the bare minimum for literally any of them. Not because he was over... tying himself to too many people, but because he was doing literally nothing to manage three relationships. Yeah.
I mean, which of us haven't been in that position? At least once.
But no, for sure. I just think Daffy knows how to make it work for himself, as Foghorn Leghorn would put it, because Foghorn Leghorn and Daffy kind of also had a thing going on.
There is something between them.
Yeah.
Something
Foghorn's
very strong and very deep.
Bizarre in the show.
He's like an eccentric, like DILF, kind of.
He is an eccentric DILF.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think he was really into Daffy in the Foghorn Leghorn story. I know that.
He believes in Daffy.
He does.
He supports Daffy 100%.
Doesn't he kind of come across as like Daffy's sugar daddy in one
Yes.
episode?
He does.
He's literally his sugar daddy in one episode.
Yes.
Does he call him daddy at one point?
In my mind, he has many times. I don't know if he has in the show, but I feel like he should have.
I'm not sure.
Like,
he might have.
Like, it seems like Foghorn, like, it does seem like that's their relationship. Like, Daffy is his boy.
Yeah.
And Foghorn
Calls him that a lot.
is his daddy. Like, in a gay way. Like, it's an older daddy, younger twink sort of thing that's happening.
There's a lot going on there.
Because for some reason, Foghorn is this, for those of you who haven't seen the show, an eccentric millionaire who runs a KFC-like chain.
Which, that's a little...
Yeah.
That's kind of a lot by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd still do him, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, we'd all do Foghorn.
Mm-hmm.
There's this one episode from one of the older series where, like, he spanks, like, the dog out in the yard by the doghouse.
I remember that. There's this other short from, like, I think a more recent iteration. It was one of the, I think, lesser talked about iterations, but, like, where Foghorn is trying to, like, impress, like, all the female hens on, like, the farm with, like, a dorky dance.
A mating dance.
But then, like, this young, muscular rooster, like, kind of dancer comes out and just starts dancing, and all the girls start laying eggs, like, in the audience.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And then Foghorn walks up to the guy, and he's like, and wait just a minute. And the guy just kind of shakes his ass a little at Foghorn, and Foghorn lays an egg. What? You haven't seen this? I've showed you this. I had to have.
I probably saw it when I was a kid.
No, it was not. It was 2013.
Oh, okay. So one of the newer ones. That's amazing.
And then Foghorn lays an egg. The stripper, whatever, walks away. And then Foghorn brushes the egg to the side. He's like, no one can ever know. So, I mean, like, does Foghorn be gay? Yeah. He is. Just to a good extent, yeah. He'll anything that walks.
That's
amazing.
I need to show you that now, just because.
So we've covered most of the cast. Let's see who's left. Just to rattle off a few real quick for those of you who have not seen the show. Taz, Tweety, and Sylvester all do show up as pets.
Which is weird.
I do kind of think that.
Well, I mean, Tweety and Tweety's always a pet.
I mean, Tweety and Sylvester I sort of don't give a shit about.
But,
no offense, Tweety and Sylvester fans. But Taz, like, I feel like, Taz, I don't want him as a pet. I like Taz. And isn't Elmer just like a TV announcer or something?
Yeah,
like a news broadcaster.
Elmer's just not basically a non-character in the show.
Yeah.
But we do have Witch Liza and Gossamer.
Of course.
Who is not Witch Hazel, not despite being Witch Hazel. But she's known as Witch Liza in the show.
Oh. I love her Halloween 24/7 energy.
Yeah.
Yes. She's amazing. There. Gossamer's been reimagined as the kid on the block.
That's cute.
He's so cute.
He's so cute. He needs to stay away from Daffy, though. God.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
His mom's told him that, like, don't hang around that duck.
She said the same thing to him about Yosemite Sam. Like, your mom told me not to talk to you.
Like, there's a lot of weirdos in their cul-de-sac. Don't go around any of them.
Speaking of weirdos, Daffy drives a parade float.
And what's so weird about that?
Just had to bring that up.
What's weird about that?
Doesn't have a driver's license either.
He has a beautician license.
That doesn't mean he can drive.
Better. That's better than a driver. It's more work goes into that.
It's literally what he pulls out when he gets pulled over. We've seen it happen. This is my license.
This is my license.
Lola doesn't have a license either.
What?
Yeah! That was the thing! Like, he was trying to get Daffy out because he got arrested for not driving without a license, and then Lola got arrested on the way to pick up Daffy, I'm pretty sure.
They're so similar. It's so amazing.
But, like she does have a license, she just lost it. She lost it 3 years ago and never bothered to do anything about it.
See, and that's me. Like, that's what I would do. I'd be like... But this is Bugs' type. Like, disaster... bisexual ADHD people who he sort of has to be like the calming influence in their lives, and he likes a fixer-upper.
Yeah, you know? I get that though. I mean I know a thing or two about liking fixer-uppers.
Alright, are there any other regulars in the show? I'm trying to think.
I don't think so.
Okay, I think we covered everyone.
Much everyone.
Alright.
There is one interaction between Bugs and Daffy that I thought was really funny, and I wrote it down. But it's another of their cross-dressing interactions.
Oh, no.
Did you have something?
Yeah, I just remembered to mention that Granny's also lives on their street.
Right.
And she also cannot handle Daffy.
Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries, Granny.
Yes. Pretty much.
But to come back to the cross-dressing thing, so this was a time when Daffy was in drag. And he and Bugs were like having a disagreement about like whose car to like drive to this event. Oh, yeah. So Daffy's in drag and he's like, "Oh, you think you get to make all the decisions? What are you, the man in the relationship?" And Bugs says, "We're not in a relationship," which is a lie, by the way. Bugs. But then Daffy acts like he just doesn't hear what Bugs said. He says, "Well, guess what? I'm a man too, and today." This man is going to drive you to the movies and buy you a ticket. So you can just leave your wallet and keys here because this man is wearing the pants today. And then he walks out like in a skirt. And it's just very funny.
I love that, though.
And that's the level of like just playing with gender that the show like regularly does.
I love that, though.
And I really enjoy it.
It's funny because that's not too different from most of his reactions with like Lola. I mean, he said that we're not in a relationship to her,
did
too.
So many times.
Quite a bit. And she just sort of pretended she didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Until eventually she broke him down and he was like, "Okay, I'm your boyfriend."
Bugs, I never want to see you again.
Like, to me, like Daffy sort of did the same thing, but like he doesn't need Bugs to even say that they're in a relationship. Like, he decided one day, and that's like all that he needed.
Yeah,
he was like,
much.
I don't need Bugs to actually agree. Like, Lola needed the agreement. Daffy doesn't need that, and that's the difference between them.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I like that they're similar, but they're still different characters too.
Yes.
Yes.
Very different.
But no, like we literally spent most of a season of Bugs trying to get out of his relationship with Lola. But by like the end of season 2, he thinks she broke up with him, and he goes into what, like the Arctic or something?
He goes like across the world. He goes on this whole journey.
Because he's so sad because Lola broke up with him.
Yes.
It's like, oh my god.
But she didn't mean bugs as in bugs. She meant bugs as in bugs.
Yes.
Like insects. It's all a misunderstanding.
You do know insects can't read.
That's not the point. She was making a statement.
You know, just one of those relatable Lola moments.
Let's circle back to Yosemite Sam for a second.
Yeah, I'd like to list off every
instance
where
instance
he's been naked.
So I know that he was. I don't remember what happened in this episode, but wasn't he actually living in Bugs' house for a little while?
That was after the house burned down.
Wasn't this?
No.
I think this is another episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was Fish and Visitors in season 1. One of the first few episodes where Yosemite Sam gets solar panels.
Oh, right!
And the power in his house stops working, I think.
Because he decides that the solar companies are out to scam him, so he buys his own solar panels and just plugs it into the wall.
That's all that you need, isn't it?
And he blows his entire house's freaking circuits.
Yeah, he's one of those types. So as a result, I'm sorry, this is a little triggering for some of us right now, but it's okay. As a result, Sam is using Bugs and Daffy's house all the time, and because he's unable to use his house, they let him stay there, but then Sam becomes the
guest from hell.
Yeah. What is it? He starts making international phone calls to Russia while he's lounging.
Who is he calling in Russia?
We don't know.
Wolf? Wolf's dad? Who is he calling?
Zangief. No, he's just lounging around in his tidy whities, just talking
all
in
the
Russian on the phone, and every step Bugs tries to do to create more boundaries, Yosemite Sam is just the opposite. And just continually does that the entire episode. And there's one joke where he says if there's a sock on the door, don't come in.
What?
You don't remember that?
No,
because I definitely do.
So do you think he had some lady companionship?
I think he had some.
Night,
I think maybe there was gentlemen, ladies, whatever.
Do you think? Because we know those boxers don't belong to him. So do you think that someone a man left their
I think
underwear at his place?
A deviant like him, I don't think he's explicitly I think any hole's a goal. I think he's that kind of bisexual.
Oh yeah, as long as he does to top somebody because he's short, and he thinks he's a big top.
Wow,
but we know what he really is.
He does things, and it's he's in the mindset where as long as he's doing things, he's good.
Yeah, he has to be active.
Yeah, I had sex, and in the back of his mind's I still feel the burn in my ass too.
I got pegged.
It doesn't matter to him as long as he says he has he can say he had sex. That's all that matters.
Yeah, just it's the whole homosocial thing where it's the men being able to show off to other men, which is are they they're having heterosexual sex, but the real goal is to make yourself look big to other men. I'm just
saying it would be really easy to convince Yosemite Sam to strip his clothes off and compare underwear.
That would be so easy.
It literally happened on the show.
It does, yeah, yeah.
Wasn't he in Foghorn Leghorn's building once, and yelling at him, and then we get this whole scene of him running naked out of with convenient object censorship.
That was the episode where Bugs was addicted to spam or something, wasn't it? Or some product he was selling.
Yeah,
something weird like that happened. But yeah, we see Sam's butt as he's running through the building. Yeah, we do. We get pretty good close-ups of it too. It was before they started drawing him super muscular, but he's still kind of got a little hair and all that. I feel they should have made him a little hairier.
Why was he naked again? I don't even remember the reason.
So it was literally a protest.
I know it was a protest.
I don't remember.
Literally, Bugs pulled him to the side saying he needs to get more of the spam or whatever. And he was like, Sam's just got out the shower. He's like, let me get dressed.
Oh yeah, he
and
like
then
brings him
Bugs is
there
like,
in a
Bugs
towel.
is like, no time.
No time.
And just drags him in. And Sam's just trying to make like casual sweet talk with everybody there while in a towel.
So like Bugs has gotten into the objectification now. Like the show is obsessed with showing Sam in various degrees of nudity. And Bugs is also in on it.
There's also I mean, like, he has some musical moments, too. I like Blow My Stack, because that's, like, an exploration of, like, his rage a little. But I really like the Mustache song, where, like, the whole song is just, like, he's in his room, like, contemplating, or in his bathroom, just wearing, like, a towel, and he's contemplating shaving his mustache, but his mustache starts, like, singing to him. And he's like, think of all the good times we had together.
Yeah,
man.
all the mustache rides.
And then the song sequence ends with him literally ripping his towel off, running outside butt naked, kind of like stroking his mustache and everything, just like embracing nature. And poor Granny off to the side is like seeing this and horrified.
She'll get over it.
But yeah, no, more naked Sam content because, you know, they know what kind of audience is watching.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
We know you want some of the fucking manly man Sam nudity.
The Sam content.
Yeah, like it's like this. It's almost like reparations for all the gays who had to watch Space Jam and deal with the Lola. Well, outside
sexy Lola.
Yeah, we had to deal with sexy Lola in the Looney Tunes fandom for like years.
And then this show came out, and it's like, oh, this is our Lola
Let's
now.
change the tides. Lola is amazing and a goofball and has a personality, and Sam is now the fan service.
Yes!
That should be the status quo.
I agree. I cannot agree any stronger.
Trying to think if there's any other moments where he's like explicitly naked in the show, but
I feel like we hit most of them.
We hit all the strong ones. You know, and of course kudos to Looney Tunes cartoons, the later iteration, for keeping the Sam fan service going. We talked about the spanking scene earlier. He's a bounty hunter in one episode.
Nice.
He's really, like, in the arm wrestling episode is probably when he looks like the finest, maybe.
They made him super muscular.
They made him super muscular, like almost Barra style like muscular.
Inflation.
He literally
muscular.
rips his shirt off to show manliness at one point.
So good.
Yeah, and you know me and guys who like just rips their shirt off for no reason. Like I have a history with that. I have a history, so Sam pushes all those real special like wolf-coated buttons for me.
He's an important character
for me,
and
for others too. But anyways, yeah. That's pretty much all the notes I wanted to take, or just like point on with Sam. You know, just really love all the fan servicey stuff. I mean, I think even Looniversity did some fan servicey stuff with him in one of the specials.
Nice.
Where he's just like in a bathtub at one point with a rubber ducky. It's really cute.
I'll have to track that one down.
Yeah, I've shared it around. I'll have to probably share it some more.
Do we have anything else?
I just think that Looney Tunes is awesome, and it's very queer, and there's also a lot going on, I think, with just, like, what's the most recent thing that's been happening with the Looney Tunes platform, though? I mean, it's Looniversity, right?
Space Jam? Oh, well, I guess Looniversity, technically.
Yeah, something like that. They also have...
I consider Tiny Toons its own thing, so...
Yeah, that's fair.
But before that, I mean, it would have been Space Jam, I'm pretty sure, which was, yeah.
Yeah, the second movie flopped pretty hard.
Well, there's been several movies made since, right? But they just haven't gone to theaters because of David Zaslav.
I mean, yeah,
so, it sort of sucks for us Looney Tune fans.
There was Acme versus Coyote.
Acme versus Coyote, which is still being like held hostage by Warner Brothers. The whole movie is made and produced and everything, and they're just like, yeah, we're not gonna release it because we want money.
Yeah, and somehow not releasing a movie makes money, like more than releasing it. I still don't really understand that.
The Looney Tunes industry has seen better days. Honestly,
they have to be
Warner Brothers in general.
Freed from this dickhead.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, because we all love the characters so much, and the worst part is, like, they know that, and that's kind of what they're using against the general public, which it's like, why do we even have to do this shit?
Looney Tunes cartoons is still ongoing, actually.
Is it?
Great.
I thought it ended recently.
Well, maybe... So the 6th season just aired ended on June 13th. But that would be the most recent, because it literally ended, like, 3 months ago.
Yeah.
I don't think they've stated officially if there's going to be another season or not, but...
Okay.
Did they also cancel the day the Earth blew up?
I believe so.
Oh my god. Oh no, I forgot. That one... No, that one supposedly did come out? Okay. It's come out, but only in Europe.
Oh, well, great.
Because this one was supposed to get canned too, but then, like, a whole bunch of legal stuff happened, and, Warner Brothers is no longer distributing it.
They don't deserve to.
So another thing that they're holding hostage.
But it is going to get released in the US by Ketchup Entertainment.
Great. Okay. Well, I hope to watch it someday.
Yeah, it'd be great.
It was released last month in Germany and Switzerland, and it's coming to the US later in 2024.
Okay, well, 2024 is almost at the end now,
Yeah.
so like it's gonna be soon.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eye out.
But yes, like both this one and Coyote vs. Acme got like incredible pre-release reviews, and then they were going to cancel them both.
I hate it.
Yeah, we still have no access to any of those. I mean, granted,
Well,
I mean,
we're getting one of the two.
we're getting one. Yeah.
Someday.
But hopefully, Coyote vs. Acme someday gets released. Although there is a rumor that it's already been deleted, so we don't know.
How do you delete a film though?
The delete key.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like, after people have like seen it and reviewed it and everything.
You press delete.
You have
how much
extra
lost
copy.
media is there on things that were released that we no longer have copies of? Like all those Doctor Who episodes.
Fair enough. Well, okay.
They just tape over those old reels back in the day.
Yeah, but
I don't know. I think I'd like to hold out some form of hope that maybe there's a bootlegger in Europe that will hook us up, but you never know.
hopefully, like the whole thing was very stupid.
I agree.
But we're getting one of the two so far, and we'll see if the other one ever comes out.
We will see, indeed.
Yeah, for sure. I know, like a lot of friends of mine would definitely love to see that happen, and no one would want it to be deleted. That's just
But yeah, I mean, I think the craziest thing about it was that I think Netflix offered $80 million for the movie.
Yeah, it's like, we will give you money for this, like, and they're like, no.
We want to delete it for the taxes.
Yeah, it's like,
Which,
wow.
if you do that, you should not be allowed to can it off your taxes
Like,
if someone offered to pay for it.
It should be an actual crime.
That should be an actual crime. I agree.
Which I think there was rumors of. I know there is legislation that was being drafted about this because it got that bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any of it's ever going to get passed.
We can only hope for the best, really. And no matter what, there's always just going to be an undying love for, like, Looney Tunes content. We're always going to want to see more. And we're always going to hope that, we get iterations that... I don't think anything's really going to surpass the magnificence of the Looney Tunes show. But we can only hope that we get... something of that nature again. Like,
we can always hope.
Yeah, for sure.
Just let the animators fly free.
That's
do
what
whatever
we
you
need,
want.
really.
Do whatever you want.
Please let the animators free.
Oh.
But yeah, I just figured it would be good to just address all that.
I can't think of anything else. I think we hit everything.
I think we hit every
Bam.
mark. So I mean, this was very fun. We got a lot to talk about, and I think we're ready to just do the sign-offs now.
Little closing statements.
Little closing statements.
I will say I have a new thing in my sign-off. I've revived the old man service, Clips channel. It is now on Blue Sky, because Blue Sky is allowing video now, everybody. So anyone who's listening to this who's still on Twitter and doesn't have a Blue Sky, your list of excuses is growing progressively smaller. But you can find the man service Blue Sky account just under that name, and I've only just started posting stuff there, but we'll see how many. I have thousands in my archive, so we'll see how many I end up putting up, or how quickly I put them up on the internet. So check that out. But you can also find me. I'm just Manicorn on Blue Sky. I'm Croup on Fur Affinity. I'm Manicorn on Archive of Our Own. You can read my fan fictions, my spanking stories, and I'm also Manicorn on Patreon if you want to give me any money.
I'm Huron. You can find me places at names I can totally think right now.
You're once 3333 on Fur Affinity, and you're Huron Pangolin or Pangolin Huron on Blue Sky.
Yep.
And I think you're also that on Archive of Our Own.
Yes. Actually, you can find me under both names on Archive of Our Own, because it lets me put both names on my account, like a sensible website.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
I'm Sydney, aka Sid Scripts, on both Blue Sky and Twitter. You can find me on Archive of Our Own and rateyourmusic.com as Stargazer Sid. You can also find me on Fur Affinity as Alistair Alderman. And you can catch up on all the recent updates and news pertaining to the Loincloth Hour and all of the, animation we fascinate ourselves over on Blue Sky and Twitter and YouTube. So, I recently made a Tumblr for the Loincloth Hour as well, which I've posted nothing of significance to yet, but it exists.
I didn't know that was there. I love Tumblr. So
yeah.
That's wonderful.
You can also follow me on Tumblr as Sid Scripts. But yeah, I think that, and of course, the Loincloth Hour has its own Patreon in case you want to see behind the scenes notes or productivity on other pieces of content that we're working on. Mostly stuff that is still in my editing queue, that I'm fascinated is still there.
It's getting there. It's slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely.
But if you want to chip in a few bucks, that'll encourage us about more episodes.
Yeah.
Just saying.
For sure.
It will definitely help us to do that.
Yeah.
So if you want to see more, just $1 a month.
Loincloth Hour Patreon. There you go. It's all right there. All the queer ramblings, all at your fingertips.
You have the power.
You have the capacity. Yeah, but I think that's pretty much everything from my end.
Yeah.
We're gonna put out more episodes hopefully soon. The summer was a bit of a hiatus for us, but the fall season's coming up, and things are coming into check a little more. Spooky season's definitely helping as a good creative outlet.
And we have plans for 2 more, not Gargoyle episodes, 2 more episodes on other things too.
Yes.
We have Farscape, we have Conan.
Yes.
So I want to talk about all of these things.
For sure.
There's so much to talk about.
Yes, and we'll pick up Gargoyles pretty soon. Alrighty. Well, any closing statements before I end us off?
That's all, folks.
Yeah. That's all, folks. Warner Brothers is gonna crucify us for this.